What's the blueprint? What's the blueprint for Barca Esports if there is a world where they beat Team BDS here?
Well, step one, Jorby, is to get themselves one game, because in the last 3 attempts against BDS, Barca haven't managed that, losing 4-0, 4-0, and then most recently 3-0 against them. So once you get past that small issue of just getting one, you got to get a couple more, so it's going to be far from easy for them. But I think on an individual level, it all comes down to Itachi, the man that's currently in goal, just waiting. He is their link player. Roniki's their goal scorer, but he can't do what he does unless he gets opportunities. But actually, it's Devo of the first goal for Barca, none of the players that I mentioned.
That's certainly one way to start out, but Devo is, the guy I'm looking at, because if I'm going to pick out what's made Barca so inconsistent, Devo is kind of where I'm pointing the finger, and that's not to throw any shade at Devo. It just feels like in the series that Barca end up losing, he tends to end up dropping the touches that he needs to make. And here's a nice pass in front, Barca. They start off this match with some gumption, but I'm looking at Devo on Barca as well.
It's tough because he's going to have such a tricky series here against BDS, because we all know how much pressure Monkey Moon, Mark by 8, and Extra are able to keep. And Devo is the first and last real line of defense for Barca at times. So it's going to be really tough for him, but he needs his teammates supporting him with goals. There was almost one there for Roniki, and then Itachi following up. But it's a tough mission for Devo, but it's easy to sort of critique him if he does struggle, because BDS has put so much pressure on him.
He does grab the next ball off the backboard. Team BDS were feeling pressure early. That shot was off the crossbar for Extra. You're going to see that more and more from him as the match goes on. Already another carry too, but denied.
There's a good save from Roniki there too. Another thing I want to see from Barca is just some form of midfield pressure. We talked about their incredible series last week where they held out against BDS in Game 1 for 8 minutes and 8 seconds in overtime, but throughout pretty much the entirety of that overtime and of that series, really, BDS, they always had those middle boosts. They were always passing the ball around, and they always had the second ball. So just being a little bit more confident, I guess, and trusting your reads for Barca will really help them too, because BDS, we know they're going to have a lot of the play, and Barca, I think, need to just not fear that and not panic if that is the case.
Monkey Moon, he didn't really have an angle to shoot at, so pitched it as far across as possible. But, this BDS team, so difficult to crack by for so many reasons, but one being that midfield game that you're talking about, Barca, and really needing to find a way to grab control of. Roniki stops the next one. This is a good progression by Barca downfield. Itachi had the read, but backboard defense is clean for BDS.
Good decision-making from Devo as well there. He was tempted to come in, just knew that BDS would have the win, and then he comes in from the side because he rotated back. Disciplined play from Devo, but BDS will keep on coming. Monkey Moon gets a touch on the backboard. They just look dangerous every time they come forward to BDS, which is what scares me so much from a Barca perspective. But their transition game is looking really strong, Barca's.
And BDS really love to play, that aggressive, like sit on the opponent's back wall or backboard and sit up there just for an option on the pass. And they always approach that really well, because that situation can put you in danger sometimes with your third man if you're not, correctly positioned, if you're seeing 3 steps into the future. But right now, BDS are stopping Barca, but Barca have had a few good pushes. They've been able to win that first challenge, beat the first defender. But it's starting to die quick downfield. Mark by 8 was waiting. He couldn't put it on target, so Barca maybe get away with it, but they still got to get this clear. Itachi sandwiched it across the back wall, and I don't know how on earth Barca kept that ball out of the net.
Well, they've been doing that time and time again against BDS, these crazy goal line saves. I think we all know that eventually Barca will relent, but there's another one there from Itachi. They certainly can keep the ball out when they need to. But is the screw finally going to turn? That's where it's key, these closing down moments. So Devo pushes onwards there, brings us into the center, and then he needs his teammates to be pushing up, I think, a little bit faster than they were on that occasion, to do more than survive, but actually to transition successfully.
That going in? No, it's just a little high. The angle I was looking at, I thought it might have dropped a little bit. Nice delay by Mark by 8. A lot of space for BDS on that last push, and everyone ends up shading to the right side. And, Monkey Moon is just putting pressure on Barca every single time he touches the ball. Everything is a threat. There's a bump by Mark by 8. He's been physical as well. He's gotten a couple of demos, a couple of bumps. He really wants to be that disruptor in this game. And here's a 3-point passing play. Monkey Moon on the rebound. He's going to kick this one up for Extra. Plays it slow in front. And BDS denied again by Barca. Itachi low boost, but he grabbed it. And Mark by 8 tries to challenge him, but this is excellent goal line stand by Barca Esports. They still have to hang on.
have currently had 9 saves have Barca. That was a 10th there, that one counting. I think it was a little bit generous, but just shows the dominance that BDS have had. But we are, Jobby, 15 seconds away from Barca doing something they've not done in 3 series against BDS, and that's winning at least 1 game. There's a double commit on the goal line, but the countdown continues to go down. I know it's only game 1, but this would be absolutely huge for Barca if they could see it away, not only getting a game, but taking the lead. And it's all going to come down to this play from BDS.
Extra does find Mark by 8. Monkey Moon is on the wing, ready for it. He's going to go for a hard play, and he forced the defender to make a play, and he makes 2. Wow. In fact, Ronicky comes up big time at the end, and maybe not what anyone expected. Barca come roaring out the gate.
I don't think anybody saw this one coming at all, considering we are in quarterfinals number 4 with only had one series. Yeah, exactly. This was the one that I was most confident about. I was convinced that BDS were not only going to win this one, I really was confident they were going to sweep it completely. But Barca, they were defending. You know, it was an offensive performance from them. It has to be against BDS. But how good are they on the goal line?
I mean, that poise on defense was so critical because it wasn't for lack of trying from Team BDS. You know, they weren't just taking pot shots at the net. And maybe they should have taken more shots because Team BDS, I think maybe their fatal flaw is that they pass the ball too much in front of the box. You know, that'll trip up a lot of teams, but Barca have dealt with this BDS squad and how they like to play offense so often. They're like, look, we just stay on the ground and maybe we call it out. It looks like they're calling everything out on defense. I don't know how it took them to the very end of the game to finally double commit with what BDS were doing in front of the box.
It is amazing, the communication they continue to have under such a barrage of pressure. But the sad thing is, Jorby, that with BDS, it's going to happen again. We can pretty much say how this second game is going to go. It's going to be a BDS with relentless pressure, and surely they grab a goal in game 2.
Yeah, and that's the big difficulty. Yeah. And also difficult for Mark.
Close to doing it in the first few seconds.
Ooh, another shot. You know, I was going to say, Cole, just that I think you're totally on point with the consistency being what Barca have to contend with, because it's like, okay, you know, you didn't just have to sweat for game 1. You have to sweat for the whole match against this team. They are never going to change it up. They're such a mentally resilient team. Rarely do you see them tilt out and whiff or be out of position. Barca have to match them and almost play perfectly the entire way down the pitch.
Something else you see from BDS is that they tend to improve as a series goes on. Even last week, game 1 was that 8-minute overtime, then game 2 was a little bit more comfortable in the 2-1. That's almost a goal for BDS there. And then finally in game 3, I think it was 3-0 in the end, they really just pulled away and showed the quality that they have. But it's Barca that continue to have these counter-attacking chances, almost another one, and a really good start for them in game 2 again.
Really like the challenges from Extra in this game as well. He got that pass out for the potential goal earlier, but then even right there, he has to grab the boost and still square up on the challenge. It can be so easy to rush those opportunities, but I think that's something that Extra brings to this roster that is so helpful. And he's certainly had a journey where, you know, he had high expectations because he splashed early in RLCS when he made his debut. Oh, Ronicky wanted the mid-air pass, or maybe the third man pass to Itachi, and that's, you got to connect on that if you go for it for Barca.
You have to, but the signs are looking good. These infield passes, BDS do look slightly... it looks like it's possible that Barca can score from these. Ronicky attempts another one, which Mark by 8 does close down on this occasion. But I think one thing that's impressing me most about Barca today is the positioning of their third man. It is so easy to be too deep when you're up against BDS. You give that space for them to pass into. But they seem to be judging that balance incredibly well right now, which is meaning the passing lanes for BDS, they're pretty limited. Like there's a forced shot. Monkey Moon did not want to pass there. Did not want to shoot there, sorry. He wanted to put it across the mid, but the positioning from the third and second man was just too good.
And you still have to wait for the bait. Extra almost found it, and it leaves an opening for Monkey Moon. He punches it in. BDS find their first goal of the match.
There was a double commit. You said there was only one in the first game. Well, there was another one from Itachi and Devo, and Monkey Moon has the easiest finish that he'll probably get all day to put BDS in the lead, as you say, Jorby, for the first time. So that was a game and a half that Barca managed to hold off against BDS. And I wouldn't be too surprised if the next goal comes a lot quicker than the first one did. This could be it from Monkey Moon, bulldozing his way in, 2-0 BDS.
Now Monkey Moon doing the equivalent of the basketball dribble here. Just let it bounce on the ground. Ixo's like, when is it gonna happen? Or Devo's like, when is it gonna happen? And it just slips right under him. Well, that's the problem with BDS, is that they have so many tools in their arsenal. If they can't beat you one way or the second way, they'll beat you the 8th way. That's what makes them so powerful. Barca pot shot. It's saved for now. Ronicky gets it back. Here's a quick pass, and it pops up. But BDS have the boost and Monkey Moon to get it out to the corner.
Touch from Devo. I wonder if the 8 ways is why Marked by 8 has the 8 in his name, if that's what it represents. We'll have to ask one day on the desk. Yeah, could well be.
That's the 5-head analysis there. Never thought about it that way.
Maybe. The Barca are still looking okay. They're getting a little bit of pressure on the other side. It's a good pass there, actually, from Itachi to Ronicky. Devo's, and Devo's got to take that chance against BDS. A couple of occasions, Barca have come forward, and they've just not been able to connect. On that time, there was a connection, but it was unfortunately wide, and they're just going to regret missing these because when they do connect, BDS is starting to read them in defense.
Yeah, and you know, for Barca, the fact that you are able to go for those feints and you are mixing it up on the creativity means that BDS do have to respect your ability behind the ball. When Barca start tightening up the rotation on offense, you know, BDS can't be lax in that situation because you might see a faked pass or maybe a missed pass that turns right into a goal. They hang on though, and in fact, they might even get a third goal, but it'll be boom downfield for Barca.
It's something we haven't seen too much from Barca, these booming clearances. Most of the time when they do go for them, like there, Ronicky was pre-jumping. He loves to do that. Couldn't quite connect yet again. But their actual touches have been considered, Barca, which, considering the amount of time they don't have in this series, is another compliment that we can give them. Unable to score so far in this second game, and BDS are going to come forward here. There's the pass. That's what they needed. Marked by 8 towards Extra, and Extra is never going to miss. And BDS, when they do get the chance, they make it look easy.
Very nice and back on form, catching all of Barca out on the rotation. The last man had just spawned after getting demoed, and that's how BDS picked them apart this time. For Barca, there's been a couple of chances for Ronicky, and when you talk about strikers in Europe, Ronicky is one of the best ones out there when he is on. Like, if Ronicky's hitting his shots, how many people can really defend him? He's not hitting his shots right now, though. He's actually struggling a good bit. He missed on that. Even if it was a slight pre-jump, like, Ronicky usually hits those. Like, that's that expectation I just have for him because he's hit it so many other times. But now it's starting to get out of chaos here for Barca. And game 2 is staunchly BDS.
Yeah, this is what happened last time, BDS. As soon as they warm up, Barca can't really deal with them. The problem as well for Barca is that, as far as BDS are concerned, one goal leads to more goals, because as soon as you're losing, you have to overcommit just that little bit more. The third man can't be quite as disciplined because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, we need goals. And it actually is going to get one. And unless there's an incredible comeback, this second game is probably over. But I think that getting more notches on the scoreboard is still going to be good for Barca here. Yeah,
just use it as the mental build-up for game 3. I think that there is a silver lining in games like this where you get blown out, but it's still early in the set. And in fact, you took game 1. So, you know, you use these next 30 seconds, relax a little bit, just, you know, go through your progressions. Don't try to force too much. Talk it out in comms, you know, all right, how are we going to get by them? What are they doing well that's working? How do we combat that? I think BDS adapted to, Cole, something you had pointed out at the beginning is Barca's third man positioning has been very smart in how they've approached it, but BDS picked that apart. If they can't get by the third man, well, they're just going to demo him. So BDS, they come away the victors in game 2. We're all tied up, but the road for Barca looks like it got a little rockier.
It's tough. It's always going to be tough for Barca in this matchup. I don't think, really, to be fair, actually, Twitch chat predicted, I think it was 60% with BDS and 40% Barca, which is much more than I expected it would be on the side of Barca. So maybe Twitch chat knows something we don't with Barca taking this first game. But well, once BDS will go in here...
recently they've had a good run of games. Like, I feel like the last few times we've seen Barca on stream, they've looked pretty decent. I think I understand why Twitch chat was feeling the Barca energy, and, you know, some popular players on this team as well.
Absolutely, they're a quality team, but it always seems, at least recently, that when they come up against BDS, they've just got their number a little bit. But they are performing better this time. They've learned the lessons from those previous series, and I'm hopeful this series can go all the way. You know, I think that we are, as a broadcast, due one to go to 5. Maybe this will be it. But I think that Barca need this one. If they lose this game, I can see them losing the 4th. If they win this one, then all bets are off.
Well, if we don't deserve a game 5, the fans at least do. So
of course.
Maybe this will produce it. I thought out of all the matches today, this one and Vitality Giants had the best chance of going the distance. But now we find out game 3, the most important game in a best of 5 set. team trying to put the other on match point. Mark by 8 starts with extra. It's off the backboard.
Oof.
And still BDS, even though you're a little late on that progression as third man, making that challenge happen is always going to make Barca sweat.
Already getting the pressure going there. There's a demo from Ronicky, which might open things up a little bit, but Extra is going to be able to dribble this one away, and he gets it past the despairing defender, and it's 1-0 BDS.
It's great by Extra, but Mark by 8 really as well. Mark by 8, he's keeping him out of that play. He has to veer the whole way out, and you'd like to cut in earlier on that angle and not let Extra just carry the ball the whole way down the pitch. But by the time he turns, Extra sees him. That's the time to flick. Very easy in that situation.
Poor old Diva, you're going down the wing, you're thinking any second Extra's about to flick it. I just want to go in and challenge, and there's just an opponent challenging him the whole way, stopping him breaking free. But BDS are keeping this barrage of pressure going on now. You're seeing all Barca players on their own goal line. It's actually a demo there that didn't work out for BDS too much, but Barca are pretty penned back right now, and I think this is what I was talking about at the start, where that midfield pressure, they're not able to get any of it at all. It turns into a game of survival, and that's where BDS now have Barca.
They really do feel that survival, because the last couple of shots that have been put on by BDS in this game, in this first minute, they're both like players are diving at the ball, and that's not what was so impressive about Barca's defense in game one. We didn't see those double commits up until the game was essentially over, even at 1 goal. But you know, they have to find a way to return to that poise. Otherwise, you know, the BDS pressure is never going to stop. They're always going to have to contend with it. But they're grabbing control in midfield here, Cole. And if they could get a couple of solid 50s and not give Extra all the space, Ronicky just wants him to give it up. Ooh, and he gets a second touch here. Might be good for Barca.
Good control from Ronicky, and a good dunk as well there. Sending BDS all the way back, which is, you know, at this point, it's the little victories that count for everything. But when you have the speed of BDS and Monkey Moon, Extra got a great touch there, and now all 3 of them fancy a bite of this ball. They're starting to smell blood of BDS. After surviving the small amount of pressure that Barca had, just looking to double their lead up, which might be, you know, 1 mountain too many for Barca to catch if it were to happen. But so far, Barca are just about surviving. Maybe this is the moment. Itachi misses, but so too does Monkey Moon, and now Devo counters.
I actually like that flip by Devo. It gave a favorable shot for Ronicky, but Monkey Moon makes the save, even with Devo harassing him.
Yeah, that was the tough thing. Dodging the bump was the hard bit. The save was pretty easy, so great defending there on the goal line from the BDS man.
Barca's going to catch the ball again here, but they can't win a single 50 against Extra. And that makes life difficult when you try to transition. Ronicky going to have to wait for Monkey Moon, and it goes right back into Extra. So Barca can't break out of midfield just yet, and even when you think you're going to get it there, Mark by 8 just keeps the ball away.
Another thing about BDS is that their boost management is so good. The amount of times I've watched this team, and I've assumed they'll be low. The wave of pressure is over. They're going to have to go back and get 100, or at least get some pads. And then it cuts to Extra, and somehow he's still on 60. And it's like, what? You've been air dribbling for the last 5 minutes. How are you still on 60 boost? And it's just that the paths that they choose to go back to the fence and come back into the offense are so difficult to deal with. It's like a limitless amount of boost this team now.
And that's something that I really think only a few teams, or even I'd even venture to say players, are truly excellent at boost management. You know, there's a lot of wasted boost that happens in, you know, you could point to a situation as to why a player might be holding down the boost button a little more often, but when you see a team like BDS and you see how they manage their boost in the tank, it's very impressive because other teams can't match that. I mean, you've been watching Barca struggle for, you know, any amount of boost in the tank for a lot of this set, and a lot of these clears of just desperation for some space and some breathing room. Game 3 has been all BDS.
It has, but it's only 1 goal. That'll be the positive for Barca, that if they can just get 1, they're right back in this game. You're going to have to challenge quickly when BDS do get these chances to dribble. There's a good one there from Itachi, who's been quite quiet in this series. Unlike him, Ronicky's going to get a close down. That one's going over the top of Monkey Moon. Itachi, if he can get a touch here, Devo was hovering, but he couldn't quite do it, and this should be the moment BDS clear. But another good touch from Devo there, just to put a little bit of angle on that clearance from BDS and stop them getting it all the way over their goal. 45 seconds and still just 1 in it, Joby.
A little pinch out by Ronicky, and Itachi, who has yet to put a shot out in game number 3, won't get one there. Monkey Moon will clear it away, and Extra already downfield. Couldn't get to that touch. But time is running out. Barca, they have BDS locked on the back wall. Can they take advantage? The ball's just dumped in front by Itachi. He had no boost, but he did have a teammate on the side wall to maybe dump it down to. Instead, BDS take the ball, and Barca are forced to stretch with time running out. Monkey Moon, next touch for him. Insurance means victory for BDS at game 3. Here comes Mark by 8. Can't find the touch. Was expecting Barca, but now they're on the turnaround. Itachi in front. Great redirect off the crossbar. Rebound is Devo. He steps for Ronicky. The shot is no good. Mark by 8 is there. The ball hanging in front. Can he grab it? No, it was off the post. That was as close as Barca could have gotten.
Oh, you couldn't script it any better. Barca finally having their golden chance at 0 seconds, but BDS somehow find a way to stand tall. They only got 2 saves in the entire game, did Team BDS there, but it was enough to keep Barca limited to no goals in game number 3. But that is the blueprint for how Barca can take this one, Jorby. They swallow all this pressure. They wait. One opportunity comes, and then the hardest bit, actually put the ball in the net when the chance comes. But they're still in this series. They've managed to survive to an extent throughout the entirety of this thing, and that is the biggest credit you can give to Barca here.
Yeah, I mean, the goaltending hasn't been bad. It has been awesome from Barca. But the issue comes with, how do they get by BDS's midfield presence and the rotation? Because BDS just seem to be constantly 2 steps ahead of what Barca are doing. It's like Barca, they went to the store and they thought, oh, I'm going to read this great book. But BDS have already read the whole series. So Barca just doesn't matter what they do. Like, oh, I know what's going to happen. And BDS like, no, we've read this, man. It's over. That's been the struggle.
Yeah, BDS are those guys that you say, oh, I've started watching insert TV show here. And they're like, oh, yeah, I've seen that. And
then they spoil it for you immediately.
Yeah,
are you at the part where insert spoilers?
Yeah, exactly. And
I just said I started watching it.
Oh, BDS. We're losing BDS fans as we speak, Joby. We should probably stop. No one likes that guy.
Well, Monkey Moon, he's going to start for BDS, who are now, they put Barca on match point. So this is it. And Barca, they've been drawing this blueprint up, but the schematic is not the easiest to crack. Where do the bolts go? How far do you have to turn the screws on BDS in order to complete the picture? Well, getting a flip reset might be the start for Ronicky, but not the best first touch.
Need to keep that balance as well to Barca, because if they do overcommit, then BDS are going to just punish them like no other team can. This could be the instance here. Monkey Moon into the corner. It's a decent touch there into the center, but BDS, 2 of their players are all the way back, which I don't think anybody was expecting there. So Barca can come straight back down the other end. There's a miss from 2 BDS players, and in comes Devo.
What happened on the backboard here? See, Ronicky sets it up. Extra was sitting a little far forward, and that was a tough read. He couldn't really get a sense for how high that ball was. That's probably the most difficult spot to make that save.
It's a tough read, but with 2 BDS players attacking the ball, you'd expect one of them to get it. So credit has to go to Devo for gambling there, because so often you think, oh yeah, they've got that. I'll rotate back and get some boost. But Devo does not, and then down the other end, a great save from Monkey Moon. Extra might finish them off here though, and there it is, 1-1. The Barca lead was short-lived.
Love me some pixel perfect placement, and that's what you got from Extra here, taking advantage off the misclear. And yeah, that's the one spot where you'll put it. You didn't even need to do it with the bump, like you said. You can't get anything going your way if you're Barca. You started it off really great, and BDS are like, yeah, your lead is very short-lived.
They're spoiling it. They are the spoilers, are BDS.
But it's like Barca, when they feel that pressure, I feel like they're making the right decisions in the wrong places. It's like if Extra's carrying the ball downfield, there's a little bit of space. The idea is, oh, everyone pull off, let's wait for him to give up the ball. And then in the situations where BDS are hammering the orange side of the field and they're challenging everything in front, that's when Barca make the wrong decision there. Instead of trying to pull off, they just try to force a 50 everywhere, even though that they've lost in the boost game. So I feel like Barca are trying to adapt to BDS, but BDS just keep out adjusting them in those situations.
The problem is as well that BDS, when they attack, they sort of hunt in packs. One player's going for the air dribble, and more often than not, at least one player will be in front of the ball, going for a bump, offering a pass, or just being there when the ball does end up being loose. And there is Monkey Moon. He just has such a wonderful read of the game. He knew exactly where this 50-50 was going, and there he is to score it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right spot to be as second man. You see that challenge happen in front. I mean, that challenge is going to go one of 3 ways in which you're taking out 2 of the 3 options. And more times than not, 66%, unless you're playing, a tactics game, is a great percentage. But this is physics. You got to hit the ball. Here up high against the back corner, Monkey Moon trying to prevent Barca from quickly tying this up. And that first touch will do nothing for Barca back on the orange wall.
Barca are just desperate for somebody to step up right here. It seems that the series is starting to go the way we all expected it, especially if Monkey Moon can finish this one. But there is the potential for, particularly Itachi, I would say, to just land something. Get an infield pass of that towards Ronicky, who they really needed to score that one. But that was a good start for Itachi. You know, something else like that, a flip reset, something that BDS aren't expecting, might just give Barca this belief back, because it seems that they're starting to not lose it. Do you know what? I take it back. They've lost it. That is a tough moment there for Devo.
And completely dropped it here. Marked by 8. Puts a nice shot on net, but Devo got caught on the wall. He just didn't have time for it. I think Devo makes that save if he just jumps for it. Like, the ball wasn't too hard. Yeah, and he had like 80 boost.
That's really tricky. They need a goal here to get back in this one. This could be it. Oh, what a save, though. By extra. What a return for Barca that would have been. The attack continues onto the backboard by BDS. And for all the praise that we give BDS and their attack, annoyingly for the other teams, they can defend really well as well. They're not going to give away goals the same way that a lot of aggressive teams do. So 2 goals against them in 1 minute and 40 seconds is far from easy for Barca. And it might be 3 goals that they need, but it's saved on the goal line by Devo.
Ronicky just slightly behind that last touch. Monkey Moon trying to put the nail in Barca's heart. Up high to the side, trying to keep that ball away from extra. Smart idea. Ronicky's got no boost. He's just got to let it drop. Marked by 8 takes out the second man, Itachi, and BDS. They're still going to have to play defense. Barca have not been able to put on consistent shots on net. They get one, maybe a second lucky one, and then it's the whole way back to their half. They have 1 minute for 2 goals. They held on a defensive stop in game 1, kept them in the lead, but now they have to turn the engine on. They got to put the pedal on the floor. There needs to be an outpouring of offense from Ronicky, Devo, Itachi. Somebody on this Barca team has to step up to the plate because BDS are walking all over them right now. Another boomer from Ronicky. Barca going to try to set up.
They've shifted in recent times, Barca, from trying to dribble the ball away to just booming it back and hoping they can get the loose ball. But BDS, they don't fall for that either. They're just able to take some time, use all the boost that they somehow have, get the wonder pinch and send the ball all the way back to Barca's half. It is so difficult for Barca just to keep the ball in the BDS 50% of the pitch, let alone to score a goal. And in the 50-50 game, that one actually was won by Ronicky. Devo needs to do something here. He needs to do it now, and Barca might have a chance. Itachi shoots, but it's saved by Monkey Moon. And as he dribbles away, that may be the end of Barca's fight in this series.
Hoping for a goal with any amount of time left, but there is a reason that the whole desk picked BDS. There's a reason that 60% of Twitch chat knew BDS were going to win this set, and Team BDS, still the team to beat in Europe. They continue their journey to the semifinals.
They are just such a wonderful trio, these guys. So tough to get by. Even getting shots against them is difficult. In the entirety of that series, I can't think of too many occasions where I was worried that BDS were about to concede a goal. Barca, credit to them, did manage to score 3 goals in 4 games against them. And improvement from Barca, they got a game against BDS. I would say that the right team won that series, but a decent day at the office for Barca because they've really been kicked to the curb by this team in recent times, Joby.
Yeah, I do feel like this is something to build on for Barca. I do.
Exactly.
You know, they've looked better and better the more they take the pitch. They just ran into a juggernaut in BDS. They're so difficult to get by, and then that's where the mistakes come out when you're trying to overextend, trying to force the issue. They couldn't keep consistent pressure up against BDS, and they move on. Cole, that wraps up our 4 quarterfinals. Lovely 4 quarterfinals they were, but now we really get down to crunch time. 2 semifinals coming up. We'll have the first one for you after the break.